Welcome back. So today's video is about a question that was asked about realistic expectations, because I know a lot of stuff that you see online tends to be overhyping the wins, not showing losses, and just overall this, for lack of a better word, delusional aspect of what actually trading should be like on a day-to-day basis. And I wanted to take a moment to make a video like this as if it were me kind of guiding the past version of myself, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and kind of just offering up some more grounded and realistic ideas, and to really show that this doesn't have to be as stressful. So I know for me, starting out, I was always consuming more content. I was always entering the market with a fight or flight mode. Like, where is it going to go? I need to know where it's going to go now. I need to be in a trade right now. And what I've come to learn is to take a couple steps back. And what has helped with the ability to do this is honestly just sizing down as low as you possibly can go. If you're trading futures like I trade, a micro contract, one single micro contract is a game changer. If you can't do it with one micro, you are not going to be able to do it with one mini. If you can't do it with one mini, you're definitely not going to be able to scale anything. So start at the bottom, build the pyramid up, right? And 1 to 3-ish micros, depending on the setup, right? And obviously this is not financial advice. This is all through educational and entertainment purposes only. And I will never tell anybody to enter the marketplace. I won't do that. But if I was giving myself advice, seeing the amount of breathing room that one micro contract can give you, yes, it's not flashy, but yes, you can put up some serious numbers with one single micro contract. Okay. If you're not scalping like 20 or 30-second trades and you're holding, you're just letting the trade play out, this is where that basic foundation comes in of having market structure, knowledge, and just being able to read price based on what the candles are telling you. And you do have to have that in order to basically qualify to meet these realistic expectations of being able to use 1 to 3 micros to slowly grow an account. And if you can do it with that, you can do it with anything. This is the only profession where it takes 0% more work to scale this business. It's the most incredible thing in the world. But if I had to give myself advice, it would be use 1 to 3 micro contracts. If you're only going to take 1 trade a day, 2 or 3. If you're going to take multiple trades and you're possibly not at a place emotionally where you lose a trade, you don't immediately get right back in, or you immediately get right back in and you don't really have a plan, you're just getting in to revenge trade against your loss, then use 1 micro. It's so easy to be able to give yourself the breathing room with 1 single micro contract. The amount of breathing room that you get with 1 micro, you can take multiple losses and have 1 good win that will wipe out everything. It's so much less stressful to train yourself, practice, use 1 to 3 micros in a demo account, flip that thing over and over again. And then when you have enough practice, go to a challenge account if that's what you wish. I will never advise you to do such. I will never tell you to put your money on the line. But one of the things that really, really has helped me is to just be able to sit down at the charts and not be as stressed out, only trading 1 to 3 micro contracts. The amounts are so much less. You have so many more opportunities to take trades before you ever would blow an account. If you're only taking, say you have a maximum loss limit of say like $400 to $500, right? Do you know how many very wide berth stopped trades it would take with 1 micro contract on MNQ to hit that? You're going to get like 3 to 5 trades. Obviously, depending on how wide your stop is, but like we're not shooting for the widest stops known to man here. But You get what I'm saying? 1 to 3 micro contracts gives you the ability to have the wider stop and be a little bit more comfortable in letting probabilities have a little bit longer to play out. Now, obviously, if you're a scalper, like and any other kind of trader, whatever kind of trader you might be, don't listen to me. Do not listen to me. This is for entertainment purposes, right? Don't listen to a single thing I say. Don't believe a single thing I say. Do not believe a single thing anybody says on the internet. Do your own research. The best way is to know it for yourself, right? That's the truth. And the secret to knowing it for yourself is actually doing it. And that's the hardest part about trading, is you actually have to do it. You can't just watch videos and think that things are going to sink in. You have to put yourself into this. You have to give it your energy to make this come alive. It's not something that you can just force into submission. You have to let yourself be able to see this. And if you're super high strung on anxiety and fight or flight chemicals, that's not going to happen. Okay. But a way to combat that, because it is our natural human tendency to have that fight or flight mode built into us. This is not normal, right? This is trading is stressful for the human body and for the mind and for the condition, right? We're constantly getting eaten by a mountain lion while we're trading, right? If you wanted to look at it that way. But one way to combat or fight against that natural tendency of trading to make us, of that natural tendency that trading makes us feel, is to size down. Give yourself a fighting chance. If you are just getting started with this and you find yourself frantically not really knowing what's going on and you're entering trades, and yes, some win and it feels great, but then when you lose, your entire existence is just defeated. You got to give yourself the fighting chance. If you're going to not practice, you got to give yourself the fighting chance to see this play out a little bit longer with a lowered leverage, because otherwise you're just going to wipe yourself out too quickly. You're going to be spending too much on challenge accounts. You're going to be blowing all of your paper accounts. So you're going to be feeling defeated if you're trading with too much size before you know what's going on. Okay. If you're just getting into this, what I would tell myself, if you're just getting into this right now, you do not know what is going on, right? Somebody who's only, a couple years ahead of you, they might have a slightly better idea. Don't believe them either. They might not know what is going on, right? And only the individual can know that, right? But if you take a look at the previous trade execution video I did, multiple losses in one day with one micro contract with one good running trade completely cancels itself out, right? And obviously this is not financial advice. It's just the reality of the situation. Are there going to be times where you're going to get it wrong multiple times in a row? Absolutely. 100%. The only 100% guaranteed thing in this is that you're going to lose. Okay. That's the only guarantee. It's going to happen, but that's a cost of doing business. One micro contract, get some data, get some information, test the waters, right? If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, you might be offside, and kind of gather that information, find the path of where, price is speaking to you, and basically just keep yourself in the game is what I'm trying to say here. Lower your leverage, keep yourself in the game, give yourself more of an opportunity to actually have a proper chance at seeing what's happening. I would also say don't rush into things. If you have a clear, obvious setup, like if your setup presents itself, take it, right? But realistic expectations is knowing that you 100% are going to lose, okay? And if you're doing this prior to having a good solid foundation of market structure and having an idea of where you think price is going to go, if you're entering on the 1 minute chart and you have no idea where price is going to go, you probably need to practice more. Okay. And you probably need to be doing way less size than you're doing. Go over to micros, do 1, do it for a week, do it for 2 weeks. Once you find a rhythm, go to 2. Add pyramid positions with 1 to 2, or you could just go 2 straight off the bat, take a partial. Keep it relatively small. You can be holding for longer, trading less contracts. If you want to hold For shorter, trade more contracts. It's your personal style. But what's helped me is sizing down 1 to 3 micros and just doing that over and over on practice, running drills, practicing ideas as price is printing. If I'm offsides, I'm literally practicing. If I was onside, what would I want to see? I want to see a pyramid position here. I want to see, this support resistance area hold here, or I want to see this PD array or this OTE or this fib percent level for continuation here, right? I'm constantly running these drills, and I think that's important to do. If you're going to sit there and watch the price and be anxious about the trade, at least do yourself the favor of trying to find the path. Otherwise, the best bet is lower your risk and then just let it do its thing. Oftentimes, I'll have the trade on my phone and I'll just kind of let it play out. I'll keep it up and I'm not really paying attention to it too much unless I'm like doing annotations that you see on those videos for the trade recordings. But otherwise, I'll kind of just let it be, right? There are times when if I'm offside, I want to kind of verify that, am I going to get stopped out here? I'll go down and then I'll try and look and I'll try and predict it. It's just building those skills over and over again as you continually do the reps of doing this. And the more you do this, the more practice you get, the better you're going to get at this. And the easier you're going to feel, the more comfortable you are, the more size you probably could put on. That's the idea in the future, at least. But sizing down really does a good job of combating the fight or flight mode. Whatever our existence is, we can be sure to know that trading, it easily makes us stressed out. And anything to combat that is a positive. And then if you're introducing some type of like account fee on top of this, if you don't have some type of cash flow to keep that channel open and you don't really care about the account costs because it outweighs itself with the profits you get over time. Like obviously the people who have a bunch of these accounts, the prices to open them mean nothing for them, right? But for normal people who have I have two jobs, I can't just throw my money away like that. And I know you probably can't either, nor do I think it's very smart. But I think 1 to 3 micro contracts can really help you see the way through to getting to a point where you feel like, okay, I feel like I can read price, and whatever method it is, it doesn't have to be a specific niche, like I'm from this clan or I'm from, I only do this or that, and not to throw any types of tools or ideas at this in general. Just like that idea of like, you can have whatever way makes sense work for you, right? I don't know. That's probably not the best way to say that, but I think you get the idea. But yeah, I mean, I do have NQ up here. So we took a couple losses on Friday, so we took a couple losses on Thursday, right? I've been posting every single trade that I take on paper and my Lucid account for the last like 2 weeks straight. Okay. Obviously there's wins in there, but as you can see, realistic expectations, you're going to lose. There's multiple losses in some of those videos, and obviously they're easily canceled out just based off of probabilities and actually having some type of way to interact with price instead of just going in there and just clicking the button just to do it. Okay, there's some type of structure there. Now, this video is not about going into like that exact structure. There's multiple things that I look at, but that's kind of outside of the scope of this video. I wanted to make like a riding the coattails kind of video to that trade execution video, because I do think that video with like the show up text or whatever that I do, it's kind of funny. I'm just in bed on my laptop, just like making these things, and I'm just like blasting this music with my headphones. If you get a chance, you should watch all of those videos with like a good set of headphones. It'll do it. It'll do it, man. Basically like subconsciously programming yourself. That's kind of the idea that I had behind it, is I'm making these like those style of videos, like the trade execution videos, the reading price videos, anything in that format. I'm basically watching back to like subconsciously program myself before I go to sleep. Oddly enough, whatever I'm doing, it's working for me. So I'm super stoked on that. So I'm going to keep doing it. And hopefully any of those videos are at least interesting or educational or entertaining for anyone else who's watching. But as I've said in the past, I'll say it again, I'm really making these videos to help myself learn. And if there is the byproduct of helping other people learn as well, that is amazing to me. That's super cool, right? So I'm not looking for anything from you, right? Nothing. I want to be a good trader. That's what we're doing. I'm not to say that I would never make anything that I would deem of value, but that's just like not in the cards right now for me. I have no interest in doing that, right? I have 100% full steam ahead interest in being a good trader. That's what I want at this moment in time. Obviously things change. Once I get to a certain threshold, maybe, I have way more time, during the day, and I can start building a brand or something. That's like not in the cards right now. I have 2 jobs that I have to do on a daily basis. There's no chance I'm going to be leaving them anytime soon, because I am still in the beginning stages. Now, if my trading were to ever scale, then possibly that would be something I would think about. But as again, title to this video, realistic expectations, it's not the worst thing to have a job. I have 2 of them to support my trading habit. And I have allocated funds that I put into a specific savings account. I use this app called Rocket Money. I have no affiliation with Rocket Money or anything at all with them, but I use them. I use multiple platforms, but they have this cool goal saving feature. So I basically just have this allotment that comes out to keep that account at a specific funding level. And if I ever do want to, say, scale my prop firm challenges in the future, I pull from that account. I don't have free access to just spend a bunch of money on prop accounts. So I need to take this with a slower approach. I need to take this with a more confident, I feel like I know what I'm doing. There's good vibes. I'm not super stressed out. This isn't going to like put me on the street kind of thing, because trading is inherently like the most risky thing of all time, right? Price is going to go up or down. You're either going to win or lose. And if you lose, you can lose more than you got, right? Obviously, it's a little bit different with the prop firm challenges because the cost of the account is your only risk. However, I'm not interested in blowing a bunch of those either and wasting that money, right? So compounding interest, any chipping away of your overall net worth, that's damage to your future. And you don't want that. So be smart about this, right? Give yourself the breathing room. Size down, size down, size down, size down. And then let the thing play out. Okay? Market structure, environment selection, lower leverage, and time. That's all you need. That's all you need. But it's super difficult, and I get it because the emotional aspect to trading. I understand. I get it. I still experience that. I am not the anomalous one that doesn't. I'm going to be different. And said everybody who started trading, and every single person who said that was wrong. Why? Why is that the case? Because trading is difficult. It is. It's super difficult. You have to understand the landscape that you're dealing with came before everything else. Okay. This is the most amount of energy, time, resource, brain power, knowledge, technology ever to be put into one thing. Okay. The smartest brains on the face of the planet run this thing. Okay. If you don't understand that and the risk behind playing the game, you really got to just size back, man. You really got to control yourself. Don't lose control. Take 1 or 2 losses. Don't immediately get it back in there and full port the account to make it back. Wait for another setup, right? If you're getting back in, make sure you have an idea of what you're looking for. Don't just get in to get in. Okay. I don't know. I'm just kind of going off the rip here. I don't have any of this scripted. These are just thoughts that I have. So 22 minutes. I think we could go for a little bit longer, I guess. I was going to do a little bit of a chart markup, but I think this kind of speaks for itself here. Pretty good market structure here. But yeah, we're not really going to get into any of that on this specific video. If there's specific ideas that you would like me to show or talk about, as far as the actual charts go, we can do videos like that in the future. But I did just want to sit down and make this video about, realistic expectations. Obviously, this is not like it is how you see online. Arguably, though, it's much better. Okay. In my opinion, it's much better because you have this thing that's between you and the markets that you can like build this thing. I don't understand what you would even call it, like this relationship with this like ebb and flow, right? You can be in the flow, right? And I don't know, it's a beautiful thing to me. I think that it's much more interesting than all of the flash that you see online. Facetiously, I do enjoy making the videos and watching them back. And like, I'm like, wow, that was cool. I can't believe that like I was seeing that. And like, I get this super, like hyper clarity, like enjoyment out of being locked in when reading price. And I know, not to bring ICT into this, but I know there is some of the old spaces that or one of the old space episodes or something, it was within the last couple of years maybe, where he was saying, if you're driving and somebody's going to change lanes and they don't have their turn signal on, but yet somehow you just know it's going to do that, and then it happens. That's kind of the feeling. I really enjoy that feeling when that happens when I'm reading price, right? And obviously I get it wrong multiple times, often, right? Every week you get something wrong. You're going to take a loss a lot of the time. And I'm expecting every new trade that I do take to be a loss, right? So you put that stop on the line, that money is gone. It's just 100% gone. That is why 1 to 3 micros, it's not going to chew you up so fast, right? But facetiously, I do really enjoy, and I'm not trying to be selfish about this, but I do enjoy making those videos where like I can dial in and I'm like really locked in, and then you call something out and then price does it. It's one of the most fun things ever, right? It's very fun. And I forgot where I was going with that, but that's okay. One other tip that I would give myself is to stay away from the internet while you're learning this. Don't tell anyone either. Keep this amongst yourself, or like maybe your close partner. The amazement you will find in the lack of support of people around you, even people who love you. I personally think it's just best not to find out if they would support you or not, because a lot of times money can be a little bit of an issue between family. But learn this for yourself. Make this a thing that you do for yourself, and then let the fruits of that just kind of compound and grow. But staying away from the internet and the hype, like I had to get off of X, man. I still have an X account. I use X and YouTube, but like I can't stay on that platform for longer than like 2 or 3 minutes, like once or twice a week. It's just too much for me. And, cutting all of that out, cutting all the noise out, like not watching every single video that every trading influencer puts out, it really helps clear up the clutter in your head. Over analysis and over consumption of information for me is just a death sentence, right? Because I have this weird fast moving brain that like captures all of these things, and like I get analysis paralysis. I guess I'll say that. And a lot of the things that in these videos that you hear, like, are things that like most of us already know. Obviously there's really, really good content that people are releasing out there. And if there's a time and a place for it, then, you should do that. But I do think that there was a severe lacking in actual showing up and putting in the work from a place of enjoyment on my part in the past. So another advice that I would give out for people for more realistic expectations, if you want to see growth and development in your trading, you have to just do it yourself. You have to just offload all of these ideas of things outside of me are going to make me profitable. You have to learn a base amount of information, right? You need your pyramid base of concepts, ideas, things to look at. And then you need to like show up and then filter that through you and see if you can make something make sense. That's the only way, man, in my experience, right? That's the only thing that's worked for me. And as I say that, like, I'm not using a quant-based programmed, black and white, yes or no, threshold-based, trailing stop algorithm or anything to enter and exit my trades. That would be something that I would be interested in making in the future. I haven't really gone down that rabbit hole yet. I've really been fixated on the actual discretionary trading, and that's something that I find more interesting at the moment in time. And like, obviously there's seasons of things. Like during the winter time, I'm more prone to like building tools. Like I built all these indicators and stuff during the winter time. I do a lot of programming on the computer on a daily basis anyway. So it's kind of like a natural thing where I'll find interest in projects. I'll take them up and then I'll build them out, and they'll take ample amounts of time. But I've been on this kick, within the last couple months and going forward here is just, really focusing in on what I see in the charts and what makes sense to me and what I can make the model that works best for myself, right? So I'm just trying to show up to the charts and cut out all the noise and then read between the lines to see what I'm seeing in price, right? So if you sit down, you look at the charts and you take a couple ideas over and over again, you keep showing up for sessions to do this and you mark out the chart and then you go and see like what speaks to me, what doesn't, what have I constantly been noticing, catalog that, then read between the lines on all of those things that you're looking at and see what builds the model for you. Like you don't have to go through and be like, I think my model is going to be this, this, and this. Just look at chart, let it tell you what your model is, read between the lines, and then extract the information from that. And there you go. It's just by default, it just happens to you. So it doesn't have to be this big, I got to build the perfect model. I need to, I don't even know, over dramatizing. You get the idea. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going off the rip here. And as mentioned before, don't listen to a single thing I say. Do your own research, show up. This has to happen through you. Okay. Realistic expectations is you have to do the work. Other realistic expectations is you need to lower your size. You need to let things play out and you need to cut out all the noise. Okay. You think that this thing right here, one of the greatest tools known to man, or like screens in general, think like Black Mirror, one of the greatest inventions and tools that we have had that has been changing of the entire face of the planet is obviously all this technology that we've developed in the past, couple decades. But also, this is your worst enemy with trading. If you use this as a tool, it will serve you well. If you use it as your drug dealer, you will deteriorate. Unfortunately, across all areas, in my experience. Now, obviously, some people can handle this. I'm not. There's different like psyche types out there, right? I don't do well, okay, with constant fixation on dopamine scrolling and technology. I don't. I know myself enough where I don't do well. I go through waves of, I'll use it more here and there, but really within the last like year or so, I've really tried to like cut it all away. And I've only seen positives from it. So I have to believe based on my own experience. And that's why I say don't listen to me, because this is all subjective. And that's the most difficult part, especially about something like this, like trading, the discretion behind it. And that's kind of, you can't really teach that. Unfortunately, that just comes through personal experience and then showing up and basically just doing the work. And what is the work to me? I've come to find sitting down and letting the price speak to me through repetitious sessions or repetitive sessions or repeated sessions. I don't know what the proper way to say that is. And then reading between the lines and extracting the model that's under your nose the whole time. Okay. And maybe that's a little bit more fantastical and more like magic based thinking for some people. I am quite a logical person. So if this doesn't track with you, totally understand. It's just the way that my mind seems to work. But yeah, I really think that you should give yourself a proper chance to do this. And the more breathing room that you can make for yourself, the better. And with that, I think I'm going to end that here. If you guys enjoy these a little bit more unscripted, off the cuff rip videos, let me know. I can do more of them. If there's specific topics that you would like me to cover, I can try to gather my thoughts on it. But yeah, I'm right alongside you guys. I'm just a normal person, and we're here trading. I really love trading. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy trading videos or anything like this, I would ask you to consider subscribing. But I do want to advocate for spending less time on social media in general, right? There's always this like oxymoron where you see these people posting these videos, but then they're telling you to not watch the videos. But like, who cares, man? I enjoy doing this. As I've said in the past, I'm making these videos for myself to help myself learn. The more I think about this, the more I keep this at like the top of my mind, the more data basically gets fed into the model. Like, think of everything as model-based learning, right? You need more information and more data, more entropy, more time, more complexity to feed the model so that the model can then optimize. We're no different than these transformer-based AIs that have these large data pools that get trained with weights and then fine-tuned later. We're the same thing, okay? We're like some type of quantum system. A topic for a different video, I think. Maybe some tinfoil hat videos in the future could be fun. But anyways, I think we'll end this here. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you found this insightful and valuable. Hopefully I answered the question of the individual who had posted the comments. Thank you for the comment. Much appreciated. I do really appreciate when people comment on the videos and have some type of community going. It shows me that there are real people out there still, which is getting harder and harder to believe. So with that being said, I will bid you all adieu, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.